Anyway, it's been really nice to get to know you guys for like a good 5 minutes.
You too, man.
Thank you guys for being so kind and taking some time to meet on your long trip. So, Stephi and Morgan, quick throw out of your IG handles.
Mine's at Stephi Lee.
Mine's at Cystic One, Cystik, and the number 1, and that's across everything.
There you go. So how did I even run into you guys? A few years ago, I was building a wagon camper sort of project. I was looking for tutorials online, and I found Stephi that was doing a Prius. It's kind of, I mean, you were living out of it, right?
Yeah, for a little bit. This is my 4th vehicle that I've lived out of. So I had a Honda Element, and then I had a minivan, and then I had a Prius, and then I had this.
Wait, so the Prius was your 3rd vehicle that you had lived out of?
Yeah.
For how long were you living out of your cars before that?
Well, I lived in the Honda Element for like 9 months, and then I crashed it. And I lived in the minivan for like 2 months, and then I sold it because it had problems. Then I got a Prius, and I lived in that for all of last summer. And then I got this.
Nice.
Which is a big upgrade from the Prius.
Yeah, it is. You did a great job building it. Moving around. It works with your artist life, I bet.
Yeah, for the last like 3.5 years I've been kind of on and off living in vehicles. Because it works because all the work that I do is online, so I can work from anywhere and travel and do whatever. And like my travel kind of is my job because I'm vlogging and making content based on where I am in the world and what I'm doing.
Nice. Well, that
Everything's better with dogs.
It is. It is. She's just guarding the fort now. Well, that's awesome. It sounds like, I mean, the lifestyle works for you. I know it doesn't work for a lot of people, but it really does. I mean, I just think it's awesome to see people that actually go ahead and do it, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, talk about it or dreaming about it.
A lot of people are scared, I think, to just take the leap and start. But once you start doing it, you just become adjusted to it, and it's like anything else.
Right. What was it that was like that tipping point of I'm gonna head out there and do it?
Well, I graduated from art school in 2017, and then after that, I didn't really know what to do with my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to live or anything like that. But I didn't want to stay in Massachusetts. I knew that, and I didn't have a lot of money at the time, so I couldn't afford to get an apartment or anything. So I just took my car and I turned that into my home and started traveling in it, and that's kind of what I've been doing for years now.
How have you been liking the van life?
I love it. Like, I'm a road dog because I was telling you earlier before we started recording, like, I used to be the executive director of, it's called the More Than Just Me Foundation, and it does a lot with cystic fibrosis. Yeah. And I used to travel to like outdoor retailer, all these big conventions for like sponsors, because we did stuff that was like outdoor based, so like mountain climbing scene and all that. Like, I met our founder Tommy because he ran from Seattle, Washington to Daytona, Florida on foot to raise money and awareness for CF, and now he's doing all the 7 summits around the world. So it's very like outdoor, like being active, taking control of your life kind of thing. And he had a, I forget, it was just like a regular minivan. It was not like this kind of van. Right. And we used to live in that. He made this little wooden bed like during his run in the back. And dude, we lived in that just constantly, like for months at a time, going back and forth. And so the road just feels like home to me. I moved like 45 times growing up. Oh, okay. So it's like, even lived in like a truck at one point when I was a kid. So I'm like, I was built for this. Nice. So, but this is way better than anything.
Oh, I know. I'm impressed. I've never been inside of one of these van conversions, and like this is okay. Like, this is a fucking apartment in San Diego.
I've been in my friends before, but they're kind of like just kind of like the good time bros that they set it up and it's functional, but it doesn't look. When I stepped in this, I was like, holy, this is like a house.
You have running water, right? You have, I'm assuming, like generators.
Yeah, there's solar panels on the roof, and then the rest of the solar stuff under the bed, along with a 30-gallon water tank that connects to the sink. There's a fridge over here.
So like you can be out in the desert and survive a good however long you need to.
Yeah, and we just got a stove so we can cook now too.
Yeah, this is dope. I mean, I'm on the same boat. I've seen friends stuff that's just like, you know, day trip kind of builds, go out mountain biking or whatever. But no, this is full blown. It's full blown.
Yeah, when I first got in here, I was like, I didn't want to even touch anything. I was like, can I open this cabinet? Like,
Yeah.
I was like so terrified.
Yeah, dude, because you got like real flooring. I just noticed.
Yeah,
Like that's something that you would find like in a house or a bathroom or whatever.
Yeah, like the real backsplash tile. Like I saw that and I was like, this is legit.
Oh, awesome. Well, dude, good job building it.
Thank you.
More than I could fucking pull off. Cool. So, I mean, you guys are mentioning cystic fibrosis, which is, I guess, I mean, I don't know how you guys met each other, but I know you both suffer from that ailment. Like we were talking about earlier, before we got on cam, it was this year or last year that we had a just magnificent medical breakthrough.
Yeah, last year.
And what is this substance called?
Trifakta.
Trifakta. And I mean, I'm a substance nerd. Do you guys know a bit of what it is or what it does to?
Well, like, and this is heavily kind of like paraphrasing and all that. So
course.
if it's something wrong, don't like hold me to it. But so it's a modulator, and it's there's like 3 different substances in it because there have been other modulators that have came out that's like ivacaftor and some other kind, and it was just these 2 together.
Gotcha.
Because CF has like 7,000 plus different gene types, and we have Delta 508, which is the most common, but there's so many more. So the first one that came out was Kaleido, and I couldn't even take it because it was for a different gene type. Then they came out with this one called Orkambi, and that one, it didn't do what this did, but it definitely lowered down like infection rates. My lungs, I could breathe better and all that, but it's still, the thing about CF is it's just, you're basically just trying to do stuff to buy time because CF doesn't slow down. Like it's always killing off your lungs, always scarring them. So you just want to get sick as less as possible.
Definitely lost some hearing hanging out there.
Dude, yeah, well, I lived here when Pokemon Go first like became a thing. And dude, Balboa Park during the peak of Pokemon Go was like the closest I think we'll ever get to world peace. That was like the most pure, fun shit I've ever been a part of in my life.
It was an interesting time. Yeah. There was people out there selling those glowing charging cables. It was like an outdoor rave most of the time. But CF.
Yeah, back to the pill. So then like Orkambi came out and I told you it lowered infections, but this one, so I got on this one, and this has 3 different substances in it. This is the one they've been talking about for years. Like this is going to change the game. But we've heard that before, like years and years past. So you take it with a grain of salt. I'm like, if it helps, it helps. If it doesn't, I'm not going to get bummed about it. Mm-hmm. And so I got on it on November of last year, and dude, it was like pretty immediate because you kind of have with these old modulators, they call it the purge, and it's very gross, so apologize. But it's just basically all the mucus in your lungs is just purging itself out.
Right, and I mean, I'm sorry to stop you, but just to kind of go over this, what CF in general is. I mean, it's a degenerative disease from my understanding, and it's constantly causing you to lose the tissue that you need in your lungs, correct?
Pretty much. So like CF, both your parents have to have it. It's a genetic disorder. Both your parents have to have the gene, then the kid has the gene. And it basically, going down to like the science level, it's like there's a defective protein that doesn't fold. So our mucus doesn't clear like a normal person's. It doesn't have the, like, we have a very high like chloride count and all that. That's how you get diagnosed with CF. So it can't move through the airways like it does with a normal person. And so it ends up getting stuck in your lungs, causing infections, and that causes scarring. And then that, like, the more scarring you get, the lower your lung functions get.
You relax.
What is it? I know it has a happy ending. I promise. Don't stress. Don't stress.
So it's essentially like a chronic infection of the lungs.
Pretty much, yeah. That's why I told you earlier. Like, people with CF, before Trifakta, I needed 3,000 calories a day to maintain 5,000 a gain because your body is constantly fighting off infection in your lungs. So you're just constantly burning calories, just like sitting around, doing nothing.
Right.
And then this new med came out, and within 2 weeks, I wasn't even like coughing anything up anymore. And I just all my treatments started hurting, which they don't feel good anyways, because you do like this stuff called hypertonic saline, which is basically like taking ocean water, putting it in a nebulizer, and inhaling it. So it burns it's real fun. But it started feeling way different. Like it was making my chest tight, and I wasn't getting anything up. And I was like, this is odd. And then my lungs were teetering like 60. They would kind of go from 60 to like maybe crest 80%, but they were kind of on a downtrend. I just got like a portacath like placed in my chest and all that. So I was like, this is what's happening. Well, then this happens, and I go to the doctor and I blow a 97%, and my lung scarring has completely reversed itself.
Holy
I
shit.
don't take treatments anymore or anything. So
And you said it was noticeable within 2 weeks?
yeah, dude, it was like
Same
Was
for
it the
me.
same for you?
Mm-hmm.
That quick?
Yeah.
Going from, I mean, obviously I'm not familiar with these numbers, but you're saying now in 94, and you guys were blowing what kind of ranges before?
mine was like would kind of teeter because they would be lower if I wasn't active, and you know that's I've always tried to be like mountain climbing, but it would be like 70%, maybe cresting 80 to like jumping up to 97. What was
And
yours?
mine was at like 48% when I started, and now it's 80. I just think like if you could only use like half your lungs, and now you could use almost all of them. That's kind of what it's like. It's like it was so hard to take a deep breath before, or even just like walk up the stairs or do anything. Even like laughing or talking was difficult. They want you to stay active because that will help maintain your lung function, but it's hard to stay active when your lungs are that low because like running and stuff is nearly impossible.
Of course.
So
Cardio's, yeah, kind of out the door.
yeah, almost your lung function's still really high, but for most people with CF it goes down pretty fast.
Wow.
Yeah, and to put it kind of in, so like the numbers that we're getting from is from PFT, which is pulmonary function test. You basically sit in this booth, it's kind of like pressurized, controlled booth, and you blow in this machine, and you know it measures like your lung volume and all that. So like most normal people with nothing wrong with them will blow anywhere from 110% to 130.
Okay.
Like that's like normal people's range and all that. So. You know, now mine's 97, which is right under it, and then you know, and then think about hers being at like 47. That's less than half than like a normal person's capacity.
40, that sounds horrible. And how long did you live feeling that way?
Most of my life.
Really?
I mean, my lung function was like in the 80s and then the 70s before college. And then I went to college, smoked too much weed, and then it went down and never came back up.
Yeah.
And which I didn't know at the time how bad the weed was affecting my lungs, but then when I got my lung function test, I realized, wow, I really messed up. But then I guess now it's fine. Now I'm 80%. I can pretty much do everything that I want to do now.
Holy shit. I bet that makes traveling about
It's so much
200% easier.
Yeah, like in the past traveling, I would have to bring like nebulizers and all the different treatments with us because like we would have to do hours of treatments every day just to stay alive in the past, and now it's just like 3 pills a day and that's
Gotcha.
about it.
So when you're saying hours of treatment, you were describing having to inhale salt water, essentially.
Yeah.
So you would sit back there with something strapped up to your face,
Yeah,
and you guys would just...
for like, I would do it for like 45 minutes twice a day. And then sometimes, depending on how sick we are, we might have to do other nebulizers on top of that, like tobramycin, which is an antibiotic thing. Or there's Pulmozyme, which a lot of people with CF use.
If you do all, like pretty much all, if you're really sick and you're on basically the main cocktail of CF treatments, like from beginning to end, including if you're on that tobramycin one, treatments usually were like 2.5 hours. Because tobramycin takes almost an hour to run by itself. So like by the time you'd get done, like you'd take like the nebulizer out and like you have like lockjaw because you're just like, shit.
Yeah.
So it definitely frees up a lot of time.
I can imagine. 2.5 hours, that's it's like a long bike ride, that's cooking, that's everything.
And twice a day. So it's just like, it feels like as soon
Like
as you're
half your
done.
day is gone to treatments, but now it's just like take
Holy
a pill and
shit.
you're done.
Wow,
Which is amazing.
yeah, that really puts it into perspective. Not anything I can imagine. I mean, I got minor little things, but nothing, nothing that keeps me from doing what I want to do. But now it's getting better for you guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with this sort of medication, it's the expectation is just to keep improving, essentially, as long as you take it.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think once you start taking it, our bodies are kind of like go back to normal. Like we said, within 2 weeks, we started to feel better. So it's not going to rise like an insane amount from that.
Right.
It's sort of like flattened out. It may rise a little bit, but not like as huge of a jump as it was in the beginning. But they're working on other treatments like stem cell therapy and other drugs similar to this, but just more improved. Yeah.
Like there's so like I said, there's so many gene types with CF and all. There's still 10% of the people people with CF who can't take it, and there's like 10%, like that also includes the people who couldn't take the ones before. So they're still like nothing changed. So there's a lot of kind of like feeling bad and almost survivor's guilt in a way.
Yeah, to that.
Take your time, buddy.
So many people flying out of San Diego, it feels like there is no pandemic going on.
Right. But yeah, like just I've had so many friends with CF pass away, by like 21 years old, because the average life expectancy kind of before this drug, I think they had just pushed it to like 42, but it was really like 30s, because what can happen is you have this person with like a nonsense CF mutation that they technically test positive for it, but they have a random no random gene that nobody knows of. So then they don't have any symptoms, but they're still classified as CF, and then they end up living to like 80, even though they never were in the hospital. It pushes the expectancy.
Right, makes the range go.
But like most people that we know, at least with CF, die like in their 20s or like maybe 30s. Like it's not a disease that you live long with, because the lung function just declines so quickly, and you can get like one infection and then just lose everything.
Wow, I mean, that being said, I'm sure your guys' just perspective and everything took a big shift over the last year and change.
Definitely. We're both having existential crises now, because like we lived our whole lives expecting to die in like our 20s or like 30s, and now we might live into our 50s or beyond, and now we're like, shit, what do we do with our lives? We gotta think about like careers and credit and...
Yeah, I didn't prepare for any of this, any of the true adulting stuff. I was like, I ain't got to worry about that. I ain't going to be around this long. And they're like, psych. That's no different. I told you I got that portacath. So I had this implant in my chest, and I was like, I got to live with this forever now. I didn't want it, because you get like PICC lines, like these central lines that go into your arms, and pretty much all these dots are scars from those. And they go into like your brachial artery and all that, and for prolonged like antibiotics, because if you use regular IVs, your veins just blow. So I got this port place, and I was like, all right, I didn't want it, but I couldn't get any more in. I was like, I got this. Like 3 or 4 months after I got it placed, they're like, boom, Trifakta's been approved. Here you go. And then I get Trifakta, and then basically reverses. And so I had to just stay with this thing because COVID happened and all that. So I couldn't get any elective surgery. But I finally got it out just like a couple months ago, and I was like, bro, that was the most unnecessary. Y'all couldn't have gave me some heads up this was coming out.
Yeah, the drug just kind of came out of nowhere, so it was kind of like a shock to a lot of people with CF. They're like, oh shit, we're like basically cured now. Like we never really expected it. We knew that they were working on something, but they've been working on things all the time, and they'll release it, and it doesn't really change much. It'll just like have a slight improvement or something. But this one is like a complete game changer, and it's like almost reverse this.
Hey, Zelda, sorry. Hey, come here. No.
Friends. I'm slowly moving towards friends. I just wanted to make friends, Dad. God.
Let's go to the dog park so bad. I know we're at the dog beach, but we're not here for the purposes of... I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm fine with this.
Okay, because she will give you about 100 if allowed.
Oh,
you're in trouble now, dude.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's fine. This is great. This is great. I haven't seen my dog in over a month, so I'm just like, yeah, this is fine. This is fine.
Okay. Yeah, so she's all about it. That's why she's complaining.
Beautiful.
She's a brat, dude. Such a brat. Well, happy she's helping y'all relieve some of your dog withdrawals.
Right, we were at her friend's like yesterday, like Calabasas, and like she has these little dogs, and I'm just in the floor with them. It's like, y'all just ignore me. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I feel you. You gotta get those cuddles in. Yeah.
But anyways, we're having existential crisis.
I can imagine, dude.
Because we've always kind of lived like every day was our last, and we'll just like do whatever. Mm-hmm. Like we both like to travel a lot and just like spontaneously do things all the time. Mm-hmm. Like for example, him just jumping in the van with me, it was just kind of like,
why not?
I don't know. Like when you're born knowing you're gonna die young, you kind of just do whatever because you're like, fuck it, I'm dying.
Right.
So we still kind of have that, but now we also have to think about the future, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you were saying before about 30 was the expectancy. You're 30.
Yeah.
You're coming up to it. So I mean, you guys were expecting to have these be like your honeymoon years. I mean, your retirement years per se.
Yeah.
I was ready to start going down the bucket list. Being like,
Right.
all right, it's time to start checking it off. And now it's like, no, that's not going to happen.
I think it's a good, it's in a way it's like a gift because now we have that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just do things because it makes us happy and like because it's something we want to do. We don't wait until we're older. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, I want to travel, but I'm gonna wait till I'm retired or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just like, no, we're gonna find a way to make it work like right now because we
Right.
don't know how long we're gonna have. And even for people without a chronic illness, like I feel like a lot more people would benefit from living like that because you never know if you could get like hit by a bus tomorrow or something like that. Like
That's
life
true.
is so fragile, and I think a lot of people just don't think about it. They just do things that make them miserable. They'll work like a 9 to 5 that they hate and just like completely waste their lives. But
Yeah, about
just have a
95% of the
different
population does.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, and that's the unfortunate thing, though. We're just kind of raised in that rat race mentality. I mean, especially here, like in San Diego, LA, it's all about getting that bag.
yeah, it's all about
Getting
money
that.
and fame, but that stuff isn't really important.
Precisely.
You can't take that with you when you die.
No, I agree. It's really about the experiences, which is what it seems like you guys are focusing on.
Yeah.
That's great. So, I mean, now that you guys are going to live to be 250, I mean, you mentioned you went to school for art.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you continuing your artistic pursuits?
In a different form than I started out with. I have a degree in illustration, so I used to do like illustrations for magazines and like custom drawings and paintings for
Nice.
people of like their family members or pets or whatever. So I was kind of just like a freelance artist, and now I focus more on videos, which I think is an art form. It's a different art form, but it's still an art form, and so I'm always like shifting. But there's a lot that goes into it, just like any sort of thing.
Nice. And how about you, my man? Are you sticking to the outdoorsy stuff, or?
It's a bit, like I said, it's been weird, man, because I've been like, man, do I want to like kind of settle and like get a job and maybe like pad it down, but then that like wanderlust side of me that's been there forever, it's like, don't you do it, because I say I want to do it, and then I'll get like a job, like a normal thing, and then within like a month I feel like I'm suffocating. And I know that sounds like the most like privileged bullshit ever, but it's just like living that way for so long, feeling like you gotta go, nothing's permanent, like go, because usually I would just like get a job, make a little bit of money, just enough to get me to like whatever I'm trying to do.
Right.
And so now it's like, so you want me to do this every day for like 25 years? And I'm just like, I can't breathe. I gotta get out of here.
I think now the struggle is just finding that balance. So like, I guess kind of what we do now is we can travel and make money at the same time, like with his live streams and my YouTube and stuff like that. We're still making an income while doing what we love, but you gotta find like a balance. Like he could go back. He works at Amazon sometimes. Like you could do that, but
It
I'm assuming
takes a
you
part
don't
of my
wanna do
soul
it
every time I
day.
clock in at Amazon. Because like Jeff Bezos is kind of the anti of every. Because I have nothing against anybody making money. And I think that's like the biggest thing that people think about when I say that. I'm like, I'm not against people being rich and all that, but
Right.
you know, with my like YouTube and Twitch got bigger, and I started making money off of it. The first thing I thought of was like, oh man, I can do this now. So I like went and I did like a toy drive for kids in the hospital, and I
Right.
do like, I'm a part of a charity streaming team, and I'm not even that like big of a person, but I just think of like these people like Jeff Bezos and all these huge guys who just sit on their money, like all this wealth they have, all the good that they could do. I feel like if you have like a platform, you have to use it to try to make this world a little better. And the people who don't,
Well,
I'm just like,
If you're not a piece of shit,
right?
yeah, like yesterday we met the director of a movie called 5 Feet Apart. The director's name is Justin Baldoni, and he does a lot of movies. Like he did 5 Feet Apart, and he just did a movie called Clouds, which is about like cancer and stuff. And everything that he does, he tries to give back to like cystic fibrosis or cancer, or whatever it is he's focusing on. And I really respect that. I
no,
think
I completely agree.
if you're able to have a platform and make money and do what you love, I think it's important to give back. That's something I'm realizing more lately, and something he's been doing his whole life, basically.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't feel right to not. And I mean, like you're saying, people that are at that echelon of privilege, or even if they have earned it, what the fuck are you doing with all those billions?
Right.
Just sitting.
Like I remember, like some girl, I think it was on TikTok or something. She'll get like celebrity like net worths, and then she'll be like, "This is all you can buy with that," and it's ridiculous amounts of like tanks and every NFL team, every MLB team, and all that. And she's like, "And look, you still have like 18 billion left over," and it's just like, what do you need with that? Like,
Yeah, because there's people out there in the hundreds of billions.
Yeah.
In the tens of billions. I mean, yeah, $1 billion is just such a insane number. Of course, it can all crumble in a day. Infrastructure and economy goes to shit, but still, money's money.
dude, Jeff Bezos, he made a killing off COVID. Like like the pandemic literally shot him like through the stratosphere.
New trajectories in life now. That's it's huge.
Right, it's awesome. It's terrifying. I will not lie and just be like, because most people are just like, oh, you must be so happy, and I am. I'm very happy and I'm very thankful. But it's kind of like you've lived in a room your whole life, and it's got windows but no door to get out, and you can see like everybody else and how they live, and you're like, you feel kind of like you're there. You're just talking through the glass and all that. And then suddenly, like a door appears, and someone flings it open, like after 30 years, and they're like, there you go. And it's like, I don't know about this. So no, it's exciting but terrifying. So it's kind of like an adrenaline like rush in a way life is now, and it's weird.
And you guys had to cope with death for so long and cope with so many things. And I mean, we're all still gonna die someday, of course, but
there's been so many times when we've almost died from like lung infections and stuff that I feel like we've become so comfortable with death in a way. It's almost like psychedelics. Like with certain psychedelics, you can reach like ego death, or like when you like go over the edge in DMT, like we've kind of already seen that in a way, or like thought about it without even having to take drugs.
Right. You've had to conceptualize it in order to not lose your mind.
Yeah.
I feel like once you kind of like accept death, because like everybody's gonna die, and then I kind of got in the headspace where it's like, man, why am I scared and worried about something that's gonna happen to literally everybody? It's not just me. It may happen to me sooner than other people, but whatever. So I feel like once you get over that fear of dying, and like, I don't know, like it's just kind of different, because so many people are just, they fear the end, and I've almost been at the end so many times. I'm just like, man, it's like there's really nothing to be scared of now.
Yeah, of course. I completely agree. And I think most people don't have near-death experiences, or don't have, psychedelic experiences or whatever. Never really, and you can achieve that knowledge without going through something traumatic, of course.
Right. Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people don't go through that till a much later stage in life, and they end up being shitheads till it's a little too late.
Yeah.
But no, both of you are super chill, down to earth, all good vibes and auras and all that good stuff. So,
So are you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I can speak like on the thing of like psychedelics and all that. Like now with like what I know and what I've been through, and I told you I didn't like, do acid the first time until I turned 25. But it's like everything that I had thought and I had like the thoughts on it and kind of felt like I was steady in what I was. Dude, after like my first real trip, where it wasn't, because so many people, especially like where I'm from, they just want to get like acid, shrooms, all these things. They just want to use them as party drugs, and I'm like,
right.
I
feel like it's like almost disrespectful to the drug.
Right. And then
there's so much it can teach you.
No.
But I think generally they're just like a lot to take in. It's a lot of like interpersonal work that comes with psychedelics.
Well, what I meant from that though was party drugs. So like kind of rephrase, like most of my friends when they do it, they're like heavily drinking and then doing everything with it. So it's just like substance. They just want more substance. Like, oh yeah, like doing shrooms or acid, going to a concert, dude. Stop it, planes.
No, they're cool, man. They know.
But yeah, like, then after that, it's just like, oh my god, this is amazing. So yeah, I love it. And like kind of just going back to it, what I said was after you've been through this kind of like the death thing, and then I had my first trip, it's like so much shit just made sense to me.
Really?
And I know that's the typical, like, dude, I tripped and found the key to the universe. But for me, I was like, I am like, this is what
But it was a catalyst to reaching certain points of understanding for the both of you, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never tripped with the mindset of knowing that I would, be having to leave soon. I mean, I know that I could leave at any moment, but that would be an interesting way to go into a trip, just kind of understanding that. But
and one thing that tripping also teaches, I think, is that we're all connected. We're all part of this earth. We're all one. And I think when we die, our energy kind of just disperses, and we're still part of this earth, but just in a different form, I guess.
Sorry, Zelda. Come here, Zelda. Don't you leave again.
She's like, they got water in here.
Zelda's bored of this conversation. She already knows all this
She knows
stuff.
this shit.
She's a genius.
Yeah, it's just
Young humans are just now figuring this out. Like, can I just have some water or leave?
I got her plate in the car. I'll get it for her in a second.
I feel like animals already know. They're just pure.
They are, dude. Like
humans just overthink everything.
They're born knowing how to love purely.
Yeah.
And people
are just a little bit jaded or something. We have to learn that throughout our lives. I think we're born knowing, but then we just become a little bit corrupted or whatever. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Then we become this, but now we want to get back to that. Yeah. I just want to be a dog.
I agree, though. Babies are pretty chill until they're about like a year or two, and then something happens.
The terrible twos.
Something happens to them.
But I think everything is born pure, and then it's just whatever experiences it has affects it.
It's like the kids forget like the greater knowledge that they had when they were first born, and then at 2, and they're just like, I just feel rage.
I think babies are some of the smartest humans because like they're
trippy. They're really trippy creatures.
Yeah. Like, do you remember what it was like when you were a baby? Like probably very vaguely, but like nothing really mattered except for what actually mattered.
I remember the feeling more than I remember actual like, hey, don't you leave. Zelda, come here. I remember the feeling more than like actual instances of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just bliss really. Just like sun comes up so you can play.
Yeah, and then we accumulate all this bullshit throughout our lives, and then we have to carry that with us. But as a baby, you're just existing, and that's it. And that's kind of how dogs are too.
Yeah, except they can run.
Yeah.
Complain.
They're like advanced babies.
Yeah, they are. Babies plus. And they don't ever get to a point where they're sentient enough to hate you for bringing them into this world.
Yeah, they don't hold grudges or anything really. They don't care.
So, I mean, future plans just in the travels, like what's after San Diego?
We're going back up to LA, and then we're going to Vegas because we've never been to Vegas. I don't know what's going on there because of the pandemic, but we're going to see it anyway. And then he has to fly home because his dad can't watch his dog anymore, so he has to go watch his dog. And then I'm probably going to drive back to the East Coast or something on my own. I'm not sure where I'm going to go along the way, but
sure, it's going to be an adventure of sorts.
Yeah.
How do you usually route your route? Is it just...
I kind of decide it last minute. I use an app called... What? I use an app called Road Trippers, where you can like map out your route and add different places you want to go. So that's how I do it. But it's kind of always just like last minute impulse decision. It's like I had a completely different route planned before we went on this trip, and then last second I'm like, we're going south, and then we're going to do that route instead. Because it was kind of cold up north.
Have you guys tripped in Mexico at all? Just, like across the border here?
No, he doesn't have a passport.
Oh,
so
man.
I was just in Mexico like 2 months ago, but I flew there.
What part did you go to?
It's like Playa del Carmen, Cancun, that area.
Oh shit, you went deep south.
Yeah, I wasn't with the van, I flew there. But
Right. That's awesome, dude. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was cool. We almost died multiple times, but there was a hurricane, a Category 4 hurricane when I got there. That started like right after I landed. I had to be evacuated from the hotel.
Oh, okay.
And then there was one night when we almost got shot at a bar, but we left like 5 minutes before the shooting happened.
Oh yeah, dude. The narcos are kind of rampant right now.
Yeah, it's crazy there, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I've only So I've been to TJ once, but I can't tell the story of it because I don't have a passport.
TJ's sketchy, dude.
When I worked in San Diego, I worked on Garnet in PB at this ramen place that used to be there called Jinya.
Nice.
So I used to like make the broth and all that, and all the dudes would be like, dude, you gotta come to TJ. And I was barely getting by in San Diego because I was like, dude, I don't have the money to get a passport or anything right now.
Right.
And then like with CF, I've never like stressed about getting a passport because I was like, I still haven't seen I'm close to seeing all the U.S., but I haven't seen it. But I was like, man, I gotta get all these converters and stuff for my meds and machines. So it was basically just like a laziness and like I don't want to get all the stuff that goes with it. But they were like, dude, come to TJ. I was like, I can't. They're like, we can get you in. I'm not going to expose how they got me in, but let's say I went there and then I got left and then had to go back the way I came through nothing, through the blackness of the world. And I was like, I'm going to trip over someone's buried like coke pile here and end up murdered.
Why didn't they you're a U.S. citizen though, right? Why did your friends not advise you to just like...
Because they're not smart people, man. And I had never, like, I was just going on what they said.
Bro, you could have just walked right up and been like, I am not... an illegal, like you can tell.
They told me, they were like, that's what I asked them. I was like, dude, like, what if I just say like I messed up or like something like that? Like I tripped and fell. Now I'm on this side, and they were like, dude, you can't go back through the main gate. He's like, dude, they won't let you back in. And I was like, what? They're like, you gotta go back through the hole.
No,
and
dude.
I was like, really, bro?
Your friends hustled you.
Yeah, they were just dudes that I worked with, and they were a trip, but yeah, it was a fun time.
It's cool.
It's a fun story, but it was terrifying.
Well, hopefully next time you guys get to experience Mexico, it'll be in a more legal and friendly manner,
less sketchy way.
Because there's just a lot of cool stuff out there. I mean, just like food-wise, wine. You know, the wine valley down there is out of fucking control. It's just gorgeous. But I mean, what kind of art have you been working on, Steph? You said illustrations, but are you like painting? Or?
I do mostly like charcoal drawings. I also do painting sometimes. It's a little harder in the van because painting's just such a mess. But I do like charcoal stuff, and I don't do a whole lot anymore because I'm more focused on like YouTube and other things. But I do like a little bit here and there. Little projects.
Just on that picture you did of alligator.
An alligator?
Yeah.
It's of her friend, and that's like
your friend's name is Alligator.
Yeah, his name's
That's a great name.
Alligator Jesus.
Alligator Jesus.
We did like an art trade, so he like makes grills and stuff for like a lot of celebrities and stuff like that. He's in LA.
Like gold grills.
Yeah, and I drew this little charcoal portrait of him for him.
This little charcoal portrait.
That's fucking impressive. I mean, can people see that on your Instagram?
They will. I'll post it today.
Okay, well, that's like really realistic, dude.
Thank you.
Holy shit, it's like photorealistic.
Yeah, I like doing realism, although it takes forever.
Dude, she blew through that thing. She was like, it could have been so much better if I took my time, and I'm just looking at it like, looking at my stick figure drawing, just being like, what are you talking about? How do you make it better than this?
Yeah, no, I definitely don't have a knack for the illustrations at all, so that blows my fucking mind, dude.
Oh, thank you.
I don't even I can barely write straight.
I've been drawing since I could pick up a pencil, so I have a lot of practice.
Good.
But I feel like anybody can draw like that if they practice enough.
You
or
know,
anybody can really do anything
that's,
if they put their mind to it.
Everyone can do it, but do it well is
It just takes practice, really. That's all it is with anything.
I agree. No, you're totally right. Well,
I don't believe in talent.
Yeah.
I think people can develop skills through practice, but I don't think talent's really a thing.
I mean, I probably would have agreed with that too until I started playing guitar and like some of like the virtuosos. I'm just like, there's no way I'll ever be able to do that.
Not with that attitude.
Just like, I know like, you know, arpeggios and like the scales and all that, but it's just the techniques. It's like when I like get in my own head, then like I can't come up with anything. It's just like, no way. That's another thing where like psychedelics, like I listened to, to Dark Side of the Moon for the first time because it was such a cliche thing. I was like, dude, I'm not doing that shit.
You got to.
So finally, this was like my 4th or 5th trip ever. We got gel tabs and we took them. We took like 4 of these things. And we're
Jesus,
like, dude.
You went deep, buddy.
Yeah. Well, we had already been like working our way up and then we're like, let's just go big. So we did that and put on Dark Side of the Moon. And it was like, I get it now. Because it's like, it brings you in. Then all of a sudden, there's people just throwing, like, snares down a stairwell. And you're just like, oh.
Especially at the beginning.
Yeah, I was like, I get it now. I get it. It kind of brings you back.
Yeah, that album is fucking insane. It's cliche as shit, like you said, but holy fuck, it's just one of those.
Listen to it while you're tripping. That for anybody.
Yeah.
Because I was the one that was like, nah. I was like, dude, of course you say that. Then I did, and I was like, okay, I was wrong.
No, agreed.
Is it a bird?
Hey.
I've been caught.
Oh.
Being dysfunctional.
Come here. Up.
Okay, I'm back.
What are you doing? You being punk.
All right. Well,
Yeah. You being a punk. Oh, hello.
Hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
Hello.
fucking brat.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys can borrow her for a week if you want.
Right?
Yeah, we'll keep her. You'll never get her back.
No.
I love
Have
her
you-
long face.
Yeah.
She kind of looks like a horse.
She does. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
She's a mess.
I just get the dirt off. The dog hairs I welcome. I'm just like, more, please.
Yeah. But, anyway, well, I won't take up too much more of your guys' time. I'm already extremely grateful for the time you've been able to share with us. But anything awesome that you guys would like to share? Oh my god. This was choking on dirt.
Hairballs.
Yeah, anything awesome upcoming? I mean, you're a Twitch guy. I know you might be playing like Cyberpunk or something.
Probably not, just because I still don't have a PS5. I tried to get one when I was like, listen, I'm going to get one either when they first come out in the pre-order, or I'm waiting until they work out the bugs. So now when I get back, because my Twitch, my audience is the lowest when I game. I game just because it's fun and it changes it up. But
Of course.
people love like the one-on, basically like this, because my Twitch has kind of turned into more of like a visual podcast essay, where I just kind of tell stories and talk to other people. Like people can send in like funny stories or whatever, because it's very like chill on the channel. Like I'm not, like when trolls come in, I just try to out troll trolls, and most of the time they're like, dude, you're hilarious, you didn't like ban me, like, and then they're like part of like the crew now.
I mean,
So
what are people going in there trying to do to you? Like, just make fun of your beard or something?
Dude, they make fun of everything, like anything they can to try to be like offensive, but they don't realize that I can dig way deeper than they can, and then they're just like, wait a minute.
People are just shitty, huh?
Yeah. But I counter everything with just comedy. It's like that's my like coping mechanism for life. And then most people like it's good at disarming situations, and then people are like, wait a minute, like, oh, you're cool. So that's basically what I'm about to do. I still have a ton of vlogs from this road, and in my vlog right now, I believe we have just got to Austin, Texas. So I still got a lot of content to put out, and then pick the stream back up when I get back, because I've been mobile streaming on the road, but it's just really hard with cell service, and I don't have like a MiFi or like a little Wi-Fi box. So even if you have like full bars, if you're in a very congested city, like your connection is basically non-existent.
Of course, because you guys have been on the road for how many weeks now?
A month.
Oh shit!
And it's either a month and a week, or it'll be a month and a week this Friday.
Oh yeah, so you got plenty of footage to get through.
I'm still in North Carolina on my channel. I've got a long way to go. But it's just like we're always doing stuff, and it's so hard to find time to edit in between living. So yeah, I need to work on that.
So I'm sure like at the end of the day you try to sit down and get like an hour or two in of a little bit.
Usually I'm just tired by the end of the day and fall asleep.
That's good though.
I'm working on it.
Oh shit.
Overeating.
Something's going on. Huh.
Oh well.
That was the overheating symbol.
Was it?
Yep. Good old thermometer.
Wow.
Hopefully that saved.
Hopefully it did.
It usually does, even when that happens. Like, it just kind of shuts it off so it doesn't get too hot.
That would have sucked if it didn't.
That's the best time to do it, though, is just when it makes you, like, you do it and you're just like, man, this makes me excited. Because once you stop, because I quit streaming on Twitch for a while and YouTube just because I got to the point where I was like, I had a big reaction video that blew up about that movie 5 Feet Apart, and that's how me and that Justin guy became friends. And I got to the point where I was constantly posting because I was just trying to ride the hype train, and I was like, bro, I'm literally losing the whole reason I did this. So I just take breaks whenever I feel like I'm kind of run like stale of ideas, because I don't see that I can't fake it, And I feel like it's very
Bro.
like disingenuous if you
Same, man.
do it like just to do it for a paycheck. I'm not gonna turn something that I love doing into just a paycheck thing, because then I'm gonna hate it.
Oh man. Thank you guys for being so kind with Zelda, because she's a fucking brat.
Oh, dude, I love dogs. I will never. I see a dog and I'm just like, all right, this is good people.
Most of the time. No, but she is good people.
Like, just don't talk to me for the rest of the day. Unless you feed me, then you can talk to me.
Yeah, she's
She wants a puppuccino.
Dude, she loves them so much. She actually there's this walk we take every day, and there's a Starbucks along the way, and if we don't go to Starbucks, she'll literally like this, she'll throw herself on the ground. I had these people stop and ask me if there was something wrong with my dog the other day, but
No, she's just emotional.
yeah, she is very emotional, especially if she doesn't get her cream. But anyway, I guess we're just wrapping things up. I was just thanking you guys. I just didn't want to seem like I was an asshole that didn't even thank you guys for taking the time. So
No problem.
anyway, thank you both so much
Dude,
for
no problem at all,
everything.
man.
And I wish you all the best on your future travels. And whenever you guys come to San Diego, you guys got a friend. Anything you guys need when you're in town, let us know. And
Appreciate it.
we'll be happy to help out.
Thanks, dude.
Awesome, dude.
All right, so I mean, just real quick Instagrams again. We had Stephi Lee.
My Instagram's Stephi Lee, STEPHILEE.
Yeah, and mine is Cystic One across everything on the internet. CYSTIK, then the number 1.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
on
guys.
YouTube too. Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, so make sure you guys continue following their journey, because it is awesome to see people that actually are living the dream, doing what they love. So once again, thank you guys so much for your time.
Dude, no
and,
problem, man.
We will hopefully be chatting soon.
Sure.
Over and out.
Don't do that over now. She ends for some reason every time she's done recording, like when she
Do
picks
over
up
it
the
out.
vlog, it's like to end it. It's like it's almost like her clapper board where it's like over it. She gets it right up to her mouth, and she's just like over it out, and I'm like, you don't even use that. Why is it there?
It's just. Does it feel cool?
Yeah.
Feels official. Yeah. I don't blame you. You gotta gamify life, dude. Otherwise, what the fuck's the point?
It is a game. We're all just avatars. Customized
Oh yeah,
avatar.
I agree, dude.
Everything I do to make money is just earning points.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just points, dude.
You use your points to get snacks and build houses and stuff.
Snacks, houses, pets.
Yeah.
It's really all you get in life. What are your guys' like main hobbies and passions? Like, what do you guys waste your money on per se?
Well, we waste our money on food, so I guess eating's one of our passions. And then, what else do we do? We just make YouTube videos and.
I mean, I can tell you what I waste. I'm a huge nerd. I grew up, comics, games, and all that. So I'm a sucker for like collectibles, old comics, Funko
Sick.
Pops. Like my streaming area is just like, I'll just be like, literally the day right as we were leaving North Carolina,
So bad.
I walked into Walmart to get a couple things for like the road. Like I need a new SD card and like a battery or something.
Right.
And they released the new line of X-Men, and they had 2 of the Walmart exclusives there, like the Flocked Beast and all that. And I was like, dude, you're about to go on the road. Like you don't need to spend $20 on plastic figures. I bought them.
Of course, why not, man? I mean, so you were mentioning